I'm just a few in our waiting room. They're coming through. For all those that don't have but can put their cameras on, I really appreciate it. It's really nice. I haven't seen quite a few people for a while. It'd be great to see faces again and go from there. Okay. So, as I said here, I think we're getting up and going. A few more coming through, which is great. It's good to see everyone. I think Rochelle's trying to get in. Oh, you're there with Zoe, which is great. Got you there. Hello. Okay, I've got a crew there. Is that crew in Cranbourne? Say hello. I've got you all there, which is good. Got my team there. Barry, we've got Frankston on board, which is fantastic. Again, just a friendly reminder, if it's okay, can you please turn your camera on and be absolutely.
Oh, I'm so not used to this.
Okay, Stephanie, it's nice to meet you. You've been on loudspeaker, so I hope you're embarrassed because everyone else is laughing at the back end at you. So we're all out to have a bit of fun today. That's all it's about. All right. So I'm going to kick it off, and if I need to, I'm going to keep admitting people as they come. The purpose of today was probably just first reconnection with everyone. It's been obviously, we've had a great break. We finished up our collective Wednesdays a little bit ago there last year, and everyone's come back, and there's a million and one things going on in everyone's mind, and there's a million and one questions that directors and ourselves are all asking each other. What does the future of real estate look like? What does the office space look like? What have we got to do here? And everything else like that. Obviously today, we would have liked to share what was called the PM Ignite. I'm sitting here in Chadstone and they're doing a super job in here, and Josh is hosting. Look, we had 145 people booked in. The reason why we pivoted to do one Ignite, two separate Ignites, is not because we felt the need to separate, as because we always believe a collective is a much better thing, is we just couldn't accommodate the volume of people. We're only allowed to do 144 people per day as such, and we got 144 people here today in sales, which means not a whole team could get together and basically collaborate and get the benefit. It would have had to be in a hybrid. And it just means for us as an organisation, and for me personally, to say no to people, it doesn't seem right, especially for people that want to learn. So we actually pivoted to a new format again, but we didn't want to lose the collective. So just to say that from a corporate perspective, how we see this playing out is really clear. We actually believe that we're going to do a separate PM Ignite for PM and a separate one for sales as we're here today. But where we'll get everyone together is in mid-year in our summit, which is going to pull everyone together as a big organisation. Obviously, we're going to share gala awards coming forward this year. We're going to share all that. So I apologise if for people that might have booked time away from or time around this for the last 2 days, but I certainly didn't mean to do it unintentional. But I'm actually happy to say that the PM Ignite is going to be an unbelievable event. Just as a show, or if you could put in the chat room, if you've got any questions for me in relation to that, the PM Ignite, we've now got an unbelievable lineup. Now, I think it went out last week how it works. You can come for the 2 days. You can come for overnight. If you want to stay either twin share or single, there's a cost associated, or you can come for the day and have dinner and go home. So we've made it very accessible, both for economics for people and for organisations, but also for families, and required sometimes the commitment to it, which is really, really cool. It's at Cape Schanck. Pretty much the format that I was just having a couple of meetings here today. We'll have a first session. We'll do that as an introduction, setting the scene. Then there'll be a couple of working sessions as a teams for anyone who's been to our Your Say event and like to participate in that. That will then come across, and there'll be some of those where we call what's working well, even better if. So we look at the things that are working well, even better if. I've been able to get guest speaker in Justin Peckett, ex-AFL footballer, but more importantly, co-owner and facilitator of leading teams, which now work with the National Bank Australia, Southeast Water. They work with Flight Centre. They work with Sydney Swans, Brisbane Bears across that. And now they actually worked with the Australian netball team, and personally with Lisa Alexander, the past coach who has got an Order of Australian medal, and she contributes success of that to leading teams. We've got Leo Kellnan coming on board to share with us just how much the REIV was involved in your changes, the RTA changes. I don't think people understand or truly understand how in depth that had to go through those changes. And I know they're a big point of topic at the moment. And of course they are, because we've got a project team getting together next Tuesday to discuss how we will roll these out and make that moving forward. But she'll talk about that. On top of that, I got Lance Piccioni. Now, for some of my guys that have been with him, Lance is an ex-AFL footballer, but now actually talks about and started up a foundation called Love Me, Love You Foundation. It deals with anxiety and how he got down to a certain level, but how now he influences people and how we can do that. We've then got a girl by the name of Samantha Gash. Now, do yourself a favor, write this name, Samantha Gash, down, G-A-S-H. Google this girl. She did a 3,200-kilometre marathon in 67 days. She weighs 49 kilos and she had to carry a 25-kilo pack doing that. She talks about resilience, going next level. I was certainly lucky enough to see her present at a Domain function, and I think one of the most impressive individuals. And for all you Berwick Knights, she went to St Margaret's in Berwick as a school. So she's local to us out that way as well. So pretty impressive. Just got the word then, and just about to confirm, Jet Xavier might be attending as well. So on that side of it. And then, of course, I've got a panel of our council, all very well excited about being questioned by their peers across that. And then the next level is I've also got a panel, COVID assisting, is the fact from PRD in Ballarat. They run a property management of 1,200 properties, and they went from a 3% return to in excess of a 20% return on that portfolio and that program. So they're going to discuss a few of the initiatives that they've done, and more importantly, the systems and processes and what's required to get a property management business profitable. So it's a pretty exciting format getting through it. And as I said, we've made it pretty cost efficient for everyone, and I'm really excited. So we sort of hope that if you can get on board and start booking the tickets that's required, and let us know how many that you need to do. If you need any more, let us, want that. We've also invited today, which I won't have many directors in the room because I've got a lot in the other room out here in Chadstone. We've got that, get the directors to come involved. We've named it, we've focused this purely on property management, directors and team leaders. It's more of a mindset, health and wealth and management around that, not so much a mechanical thing for you guys to worry about, because we already know you're best on ground. And we've got Fiona Blaney actually zooming in on that as well. So I don't know where I'm going to fit all these people, but I do know one thing that I got from it is when I had to hustle and get out there with the new version of PM Ignite, I put it out there to everyone, and every single person that ranks it, yep, we're in, we'll do it, we'll make sure it happens for you. Domain.com come on board, Smart House Australia's come on board, Conveni through their prop pay organisation have come on board. We've got Direct Connect have come on board as corporate sponsors to make this event possible. And I think the salespeople will be a little bit jealous, because I think it's going to be something special. So just out there, and I might hand it over to, because when I spoke to the PM Council, Michelle, you've got a bit of a concept there. Michelle, how do you feel about an event like that we can put together, and anything that we could add to it?
I think it's fantastic. We're doing it. I think all PMs, we need something like that. It's always great for us all to get together. There's a lot of new faces as well in the group. So it's really exciting for us to all meet them. and see how everyone's going with it. But I think the setup you've got is good. I'm pleased to hear that Leah will be talking about the legislative changes and how they've been involved in that. But yeah, no, I can't think of anything else you could probably add to it.
Yeah, I think you brought it to my attention that every now and then you've seen so many new faces. It would be great to see everyone in person. I think that's when we first got together, and that sort of probably reinforced and concreted the whole concept of that this is what we need to do. And I think we need to do it more often, because from a corporate perspective and also probably from a business owner's perspective, we understand at the moment the enormity that's coming over the next few months in your business, and how we best combat that, not in a defense, but get onto the attack and make sure we're in a winning mindset. Danielle, yourself, I see you're there. Any thoughts or feedback on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great format. I'm actually really excited about it. I think that having a group of like-minded people in the room sharing ideas, especially given where we're headed, is going to be really, really important to all of us. And I think that, like, even though from my perspective, only being part of the group for the last, oh gosh, what are we? 18 months, I think, already.
Yes,
Gee, that's flown.
I know.
And already I've made some great, I will call you all friends, all of you that I chat to. Some people I chat to on a more regular basis than others, but and you know, even having been in this industry myself for 24 years, you always need help, or you know, bounce an idea off somebody, or you know, whatever the case may be. And I think that's where the networking side of it is fantastic. And I think that an event like a PM Ignite will be massive. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm actually sitting here looking at people, and I'm actually loving what I'm seeing. I've got the Cranbourne team up here in the boardroom, actually looking at how they're doing learning together. I think this is the new version of sometimes learning in groups like this. And you know, I think I've got down here, I've got the Blackburn team in a group. You know, I've got the team from Narre Warren. I'm thinking, you know, some of the future of learning is going to be in these communication rooms with collaborative learning across that. So I'm pretty excited about seeing people actually getting together business tables. Obviously, I know what the Berwick team looks like. They all got there with in that and then one space doing it. So it's really, really exciting to see that. And I think this year more than ever, we need to get together more than ever. And I don't know how we do it or how often we do it. Now, one of the things that's been brought to my attention, we did it from a corporate perspective, and I thought it's no better use going to the space of that collective Wednesdays, because I all understand you're busy. Is how would you like to see this format? Does it need to be weekly, fortnightly, monthly? Bear in mind we've got training. I'd really appreciate, there's going to be a survey sent out. And if you want to know that, or if you've got any opinions around that, I'm happy to hear about what you feel about it, because we certainly, I think we did some great stuff together last year by doing it. But I also understand now that you're back in offices and you're developing your teams around each other. Is it going to be a significant part of our business moving forward, or is it going to be a part of it? Any thoughts on that, or anyone would like to share their opinion out there for me to help me along that, what I'm trying to plan for my year? Don't all talk at once.
I think once a month would be great.
Yep.
Yeah, I do too. And a Wednesday, I think we should stick to the same day every time so that people know and don't put routines and stuff like that around it. But also maybe if we're getting together like this, then having specific subjects, like a specific, not a specific agenda, but just something so that if people have questions about certain things, then they can actually come prepared to ask questions about that. And then we're just sharing information and knowledge.
Awesome. All right. So that's what we'll start with. And as you said, some of these things I hope that we'll work through really, really well when we're down at Cape Schanck, by the way. I didn't mention where it was if you didn't know. It's at the RACV at Cape Schanck. For some people, they don't have to travel that far. For some, they've got to travel a little bit further than others. And I think I even mentioned, Michelle, you had to travel the furthest at one stage. Now you're probably the closest.
I was
So-
just there yesterday, so it's not far at all.
I'm sure I heard Winchy offer up her house for anyone that was wanting cheaper accommodation.
Hot Springs
Oh,
the
that-
night before.
That's so you don't have to drive the traffic in the morning. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
One of the things I suppose too, I'm going to bring up now, and it is a lot of topic of conversation out there. What does property management look like moving forward for in office or out of office? You know, because you guys are now getting more into routine, etc. You know, some people that actually physicalness of working in the office versus working from home. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. Some people aren't adapting well, actually working back in the office. I've had these conversations from a lot of people, but also some people are just loving being back around the office. I know from a director's perspective, who spent a lot of time on Zoom last year, and knowing that I believe growth in people, that you can't grow people, develop people unless they're side by side in a regular office environment. I think it's significantly important to be around people. But I might share a few thoughts. I'm going to throw that Izzy for you. You're back in the office there in Berwick, and obviously just taking on a team leader role, which I don't think people knew that Izzy's just got a team leader role in my organisation. So pretty exciting. What's your thoughts on the process of developing people and being back in office?
Definitely in office. Sorry. Yeah, you knew even during the lockdown that I was like begging to go in. I'm loving being back in a routine, obviously. And we've got an assistant starting on Monday with us as well. So even just training her in office, she's super excited, and yeah, can't wait to get in.
And we might even talk about Josh, obviously, who's sitting there, who's on mute. How much further has he developed by being surrounded by people than trying to work from home?
Yeah, you could say he's developed. He's unfortunately has to put up with all of us every day, but being the only male. So he listens to all our stupid chat, but no, he's amazing.
And Josh, I might go across to you. You know, a classic example of a new person in our organisation that outside, no property management experience, etc. before, having the team around you, how important has that been now that you've been back? Because you've had some pretty difficult conversations with people.
It's been huge. Like, I think definitely having the immediate support of like the team in person, being able to, say if I get stuck, lean over and be like, hey, can someone help you with this? Or how would you deal with this situation? It's a lot more, it's a lot faster in terms of learning and growing. And it's a lot more, I don't know, like I love collaborating with people in person. So having a team like the Berwick team around me, it's been like accelerated growth more than I can ever say I would have done at home.
And I think that's the importance, because I had it flung to me, not just from real estate perspective, but I've had, you know, obviously from a business perspective, how do we see the future of real estate office space go? Is there going to be offices required? Is there going to be semi-working from home, etc.? And my simple response has been, I have no idea. I don't believe I need to worry about it. All I need to do is go back to business as normal. And from there, work it out at the end of the year, because then we've had 2 years to measure on, and then we can measure, adjust and shift. And from that perspective, I'd like to get some other feedback on that side. So Sharon, yourself down there, well, I don't know if you've got a virtual background or in your outside living room there.
I wish it was my
How's
living
your
room.
thoughts?
My thoughts would be, it would be good to have a bit of a combination of both. I've enjoyed being back in the office, but I think there's something nice about also having some time in the peaceful environment of your home. So I think we know we can do it now. We've discovered this whole other thing that we never really knew we had, which is the being able to work outside of an office environment from the home. So there's some benefits to that.
So if I question this, because you were a corporate trainer before, for most people wouldn't know that you worked at corporate. How would you develop from people that were from home?
That's a very good question. I still think we need to meet together regularly. I really do. I agree with you that there needs to be a feeling of being part of a wider team, the support that comes from that. So I don't think we should throw the baby out with the bathwater, if you like. I think we need to have a combination of many things. I think learning is better done in groups, definitely. There's feedback from each other. We get a lot out of discussion groups. So I think meeting together for training, definitely don't get rid of that. That's really important. Yeah, so.
And I am asking you a lot of questions because I know you were a corporate training from that side. How would Josh then have got so much rapid growth in the event he wasn't paired up with someone at the same time? Because I'm really looking at this measure, adjust, and, you know, and move. How would he have done that in that environment if he didn't have key people and certainly senior people that have the ability to deal with that? When, you know, they're out and about, they're living the lifestyle, like they're not living the lifestyle, but they're living a different model, but yet the younger people are actually drowning within it. How do we fix that?
Look, I think, again, a combination of things. So, for instance, stuff that can be online training. A lot of training has gone online. I think we can utilise that. I think we can have some good modules that are available online, and that can be done individually from a home environment, if you like. Then I think we need to come back into the classroom. Classroom is really important, as I said. People get a lot from feedback, from support, from bouncing ideas off each other. And I think that's really, really important too. So rather than just stick with one or the other, a combination of both works really well.
And I'll move across to Shania, because Shania's down there with the mask on. Well done. Sitting there. It's we're not too sure if you're about to rob Hastings or you're actually are doing that. So Shania, you've obviously had a pretty tough. You started outside of the whole environment. How's your learning process going at the moment?
It's been pretty good. I'll take my mask off because everyone else isn't wearing one. I'm just really close to the front, so I'm scared if someone walks in, they'll see me. So yeah, it's been really good. I found it a bit hard over lockdown because I kind of got into it straight before lockdown, probably like 3 weeks. So I had our receptionist, Renee, helping me at that time, going over everything during lockdown. But it was nice to be able to call people and get assistance. But coming back into the office, I was so much happier. And then I ended up getting some training going up to the Cranbourne office, and then it was a bit in the Berwick office, and then it was at the Narre Warren office with Colleen. And Colleen, if she's listening, she's an absolute legend. But I've enjoyed getting the extra help. It's I found that I know more than what I realize I know, because I was able to help some of the other girls if they needed help too. So I don't know, it's been good. I really like being back in the office, and I think in person is easier than being over the phone, because I feel like there's a lot of miscommunication, that sort of stuff. So yeah,
It's interesting, isn't it? It's a fundamental question that's been bandied around at the moment. So I think it's easier to address in some of these things that we do. And I don't know if you've got access to. Can you talk from yours there, Anna?
Yeah, all good.
Awesome. You've got your team there. What's been the shift, and how have they handled coming back in?
I think I can speak on behalf of everyone here. We're loving being back in the office. I think it's been really, really important, again, like everyone's been saying, to collaborate face to face and just have that support, and knowing that we've all got each other's back. It's much easier to pop into someone's office and say, hey, can you give me your idea about this, or, you know, give me some advice around this. It's much easier than saying, can we jump and do a Zoom session? Can we do a WhatsApp video call? Much easier just to be face to face. For me, I think the novelty wore off pretty quickly working from home. You know, it was great for a couple of days, and then I love the office feel. I love to be face to face with people, and I think, girls, would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Great to be back in the office, and we're loving being together.
And it's great to know that everyone is treating it differently and learning from it, but that's the whole purpose of a collective, I think, that we can actually share, because that has been the number one talk of conversation pretty much sitting around Melbourne at the moment, in any environment. What are you going to do with the office this year? And I said, I don't know. I do know one thing: I've never reacted quickly. I've always assessed and measured, but I really do need feedback on this. Do I think there's a combination of both somehow? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think there's flexibility? Yeah, I think there's that. We've proven that. But also, I know that given each point in time, there's a fundamental need for people to be in part of a tribe and be part of a community, so everyone can grow. I mean, as I say, it takes a village to grow a child. I mean, I look at it very much like that. Kathy, down there in Frankston, how's it all going? You there, Kathy? You got it? What's going on, Phil? Can't she? She's got no volume or speak.
I
We've got-
do. I do. You
So,
can hear me.
Kathy, for the time that you've spent with us, did you ever think we'd be having a Zoom meeting together?
No. No.
No. No, absolutely. So how's it all going back down there? So for everyone, just to give a breakdown on Kathy, how long have you been in real estate for?
I lost count at about 25 years, I think.
That's all right. So let's say industry legend. How long you worked for Andrew and the team down there and Marinella?
I've been with Andrew for 17 years now.
Again, so you can understand that there's a lot going on. So how have you found, obviously, how are you found the lockdown, come out of lockdown, Christmas, New Year, and how are yourself and Phil tackling the inevitable about moving forward through the new changes? What are you guys doing?
Lockdown was horrible. I hated working from home. Halfway through the first day, I was miserable and trying to sneak back into the office. I think it's because too, you don't get a turn off time. Like you might close down your computer at say 6 o'clock at night and you walk out of your study or whatever and you go, oh yep, no downtime because you haven't physically left. But I struggle with that a lot. I'm loving being back in the office, catching up with everything. And of course, yeah, having to tackle all the paperwork and everything that needs to be done for the new legislation coming through. So I'm in the process of doing all of that now.
Yeah. And what about you, Phil? Obviously, you work with Kathy as well. How's it all going? I mean, I've been lucky enough to spend some time with Kathy, and as you said, industry, long time to work in property management, but even longer to work for one individual. So it's a credit to you, but that's obviously what you do very well. Phil?
I am not sure what your question was there.
How's it going? Just checking in.
Yeah, good. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you went on to another question. Yeah, no, good. It's, I actually didn't find it too bad working from home. I obviously prefer working in the office. I've liked now having access from home, so that if something comes through that's just outside of hours, I can quickly deal with it on a Saturday or something without having to come into the office. But generally being in the office is so much better because you get to see your team and work well with your team.
That's interesting, isn't it? That's great. And I'll go going. Christine down there, how are you going since July? We're just doing a quick check-in for Christmas. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, as they do.
Yes, all good.
And how are you enjoying work at the moment?
Yeah, no, really good. I'm a little bit different. I kind of really enjoyed working from home originally.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? How each person, it's going to be the debate that rages for a long period of time. So it's that side of it actually moves that little bit extra from there, which is exciting. But back in the office now?
Yes, back in the office full time.
Yep, and getting job done.
Yes, very much.
That's even better again. So I'm still the business owner here. I'm not always the nice guy. I like the idea of job done. So it's I'll just put my bias across to everyone else so they don't think this is not a paid event. I'm biased. So all very well. Anything else? So who have I got here? So Bridget, you're there, Bridget, who's just started with us. Say hello in the team down there. How you going?
Good.
And how's that team working in there? I've got Harry. I think is Harry in there? Yep, there's Harry's thumb. So talk about how have you now, just so for people who haven't met, and this is an introduction, Bridget worked for one of my competitors for how long?
I think it was about 9 years all up. So I was there twice.
9 years. And it was nice to welcome her on board in January. So welcome her on board, and she's doing a fantastic job at the moment. Would you say, Harry?
Yeah, she's pretty good. We'll keep her on.
We'll keep her on. So, which is look, and I think one of the nicest things to do, Harry was probably one that said, put the hand out and said, well, look, we've got a problem, I'll solve the problem. And he was an ambassador for us and got Bridget across. And hopefully she's enjoying it, Para, wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
That's all right. Everything's absolutely well. As I said today, was just a quick check-in. Is there anything else that people would like to share with us today? Because it's quite great. We've got as you said, groups in here, which is really good. Explain a little bit. Say hello because it's a new year, and I won't see most of you guys now until March from that. Is there anything else anyone needs to share? Is there anything I need to do to help along the way? No? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What they say, you can private message me if you want, which is great. No, you can't. Don't do that. I don't read it anyway. But more importantly, do me a favor, get involved with our PM Ignite, because what I'd really love to make an event that everyone talks about, the industry talk about it. 2021 is for us to be role model status in property management as an organisation, and that takes a whole engagement for everyone. It takes events like the PM Ignite to put together. It takes you to lead your directors to have a clear understanding the value of what you are and what you do, and the reason why you need to learn and keep learning. All good? In that case, enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.